What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another banger, man. And it has been forever since I've last posted on this channel, but I just want to say I'm mainly busy with my main channel. And today I'm just going to teach y'all how to make your thumbnails pop out, or I guess have that bloom type of effect, that really um vibrant, like just bluey look, you feel me? Kind of a clickbait type of thumbnail. So make sure to subscribe, smash that like button, and we're just gonna get straight into the tutorial. So I'm using a 19 by 20 x 1080 screenshot here from in-game, but I'm gonna scale it down because it's a really big effort, especially if you have a lot of UI and you can't hide it. If you take a screenshot like this, it's a really big effort to just, you know, try and remove all of this. You can try with AI, sometimes it comes out good or like that, but I just make it easier for myself. And I use 1280 by 720, and so basically I just grab my screenshot, control C, control V, copy and paste it, and I move it to where I want it to be, scale it down a little bit just so everything can come out really nice and well. I think I need to make it a little bit tinier. Boom, just like that. And so now if you do this, you don't obviously have to, but if you do, just to make it a little easier on yourself and not have to work as much, make sure to crop it. So hit C on your keyboard, and this is for Photoshop. I'm not too sure on Photopea, but just find the crop tool. For Photoshop, just hit C, enter, and then click this arrow up here, and if you press V, you no longer have the huge image. It is now cropped. Sometimes it doesn't work. I think you have to reset your Photoshop for that. But now what I'm gonna work on is just trying to get rid of all of this extra stuff. We're gonna do it really fast because, like I said, the whole point of this video is to really make your thumbnail, or learn how to make your thumbnail pop out more compared to, you know, having a really bland thumbnail. It's not exactly too big on, you know, fixing stuff and whatnot. It's more so just getting rid of all that area that looks grayish, or, you know, just overall making your thumbnail look a little more interesting. So I'm gonna get rid of all of this, and just like that, it actually looks pretty good now. So one very important thing whenever it comes to trying to make your thumbnails pop out a lot more, it's layers. Layers is one of the most important things to learn. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna just control J a few times, or control C and V, and make sure that they're all perfectly aligned. And basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be making outlines of like the most important things, which, to be honest, everything else is blurred because of my Roblox shaders. So all I really need is one copy, and that's going to be for my character here. So I'm going to press W, and it's going to make me have the selection tool, and now I'm just going to go ahead and try to select as much of the character as I can. Now this works for literally any type of thumbnail. It's a little bit different whenever it comes to, you know, maybe in real life thumbnails, because you have a lot more to work with, a way better quality depending on your camera, but you know, it all falls on different factors. So I'm gonna go ahead and try and get absolutely everything. So I think I did a pretty good job. Let me just get that really quick too. Like I said, you can't really miss a lot, because especially whenever you're trying to mask and you're using effects, like let's say you mask something pretty poorly and you try to put an outer glow on it, it's going to be really noticeable. So that's what we're going to go ahead and try to avoid. So now that I've done this, you can either hit Control J, or you can just make a mask. I rather use the mask because it gives you more of an easier opportunity to get rid of unwanted spaces, like between this arm right here. So I'm gonna hit B, and I don't know it exactly, but if you look at these two like colors on your left side of the screen on your panel, one of them removes and one of them adds. So if you don't know this already, whenever you make a clipping mask, kind of, if you click on this little black thing in the layers, you can erase and bring back everything that you want. You know, let's say you accidentally cut out something that you didn't want to in the photo, you can just use the brush tool to, you know, fix that. And obviously you need to make sure you're in the right mode by hitting X, or you can just hit this little arrow thing, I don't know what to call it, but as you can see, if I were to switch it to white, it brings back, and if I switch it to black, it removes. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna see if there's anything else I want to remove. Just this, honestly, and then boom, I basically have my perfect character outline. Now not everything has to be perfect, obviously, especially if it's like a thumbnail that, doesn't require amazing detail, then it's perfectly fine. Now what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna make an outline on my character. Like I was saying, this is really just about making your thumbnails really vibrant and making them pop out a lot more. So I like to use white for all of my glows. Regardless of the video idea, I there's no other way that I can use, red or yellow or anything like that. Yellow actually complements pretty well, but I only use those on my text. So I'm gonna be using inner glow. With inner glow, I like to use linear dodge, because especially whenever you're working with skin color, any skin color, it really goes well. I don't know if y'all can tell here, but this little effect, this little light that you get on the inside of the character, it just falls really nicely, and I like that. That's a personal preference for me. I don't know if y'all like that, but I like to use linear dodge on my inner glow, and for my outer glow I preferably use normal, because if you use linear dodge on both, it just makes everything really like a little bit too bright. It makes it a little bit too bright. You can mess with the opacity, which I'm just gonna go ahead and do it like that. I'm gonna leave it at 70, and you can work with it like this, but more preferably, in my opinion, I like to use normal. It's easier to work with for me. But also, you're gonna want to add a inner shadow at the top. Depending on how your character looks, where the sun is, where the light's coming at, this is where you're gonna want to add your inner shadow. The inner shadow basically works as a second inner glow, but you're not supposed to use anything too crazy. You feel me? Use the same settings as me, 0 0, and I never go over anything like 5. So for this one, I'm just gonna use like 3. And then for the angle, make sure to switch off global light right here, and I'm just gonna use 90, because the light's coming down, as y'all can see. I don't know if y'all can see my cursor or not, but the light is coming down from kind of like the left side, but he's looking away from it, so you can kind of tell by the shadows on the car. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put the inner shadow like that, and now we can actually start working with a few things that really just change the the way that the photo looks. So we're gonna head over here, we're gonna click on the background, not the clip mask. So let's actually rename these. Name that character, and then we're gonna name this one BG, background. And so basically you're gonna want to go ahead and click background, and you're gonna want to hit vibrance, and this really all depends on your liking and what you think looks the most natural. I honestly, since this is Roblox, I don't go for a really natural look. I just go for what's more visually appealing and what I think my viewers would really like. So I like to crank it all the way up, but now the picture's looking a little bit dark, so I'm gonna want to put that brightness up quite a bit. Now there is some blur already, so I'm not gonna put it too high, or else it's gonna look weird. I like to put my contrast up because it gives a lot of detail. I don't know how to exactly explain it, but always remember this: if your contrast is going up, your brightness should be going up. If your brightness is going down, your contrast should be going down, because if your brightness is too low and your contrast is really high, it's still gonna look dark, and it's gonna look all like really defined, I guess. I don't know, it depends on the look you're going for, obviously, but y'all can see I'm literally doing a Roblox thumbnail. I'm not exactly going for a crazy detail look. I'm just really going for whatever looks best for the audience, which Roblox is a lot of kids, so that's what I'm going for. So now I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna click on the character, I'm gonna hit vibrance again. Now this, whenever it comes to skin color, you really have to pay attention to detail, because you can't just fully crank it. It makes a lot of things look weird. Specifically for this one, I do have to match it to the background also. Like, you have to match everything, every little change that you make, you have to make sure it matches whatever it is that whatever else is going on in the photo. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna put this to like a 55, because for one, my hair is already really orange, but the skin color, it looks really bland without the vibrance, so I want to give it that look. And then now we have to mess around with the brightness and contrast, because this character is looking a little way too like dark for the environment, if that makes sense. But we're gonna throw this brightness up, throw that contrast up very little, honestly. Put this up to like 35, and then put the vibrance up just a little bit, and just like that, this is actually coming out really nice in my opinion. So now what I like to do, what I'm gonna do actually, is add the text, which If I'm not wrong, I actually have this is one of my videos on my main channel. I think it's called Trap Plug or Plug King, or no, it was Drug Lord actually. Yeah, it was Drug Lord. So gonna do this now. This is a little bit of a, how can I say it, I guess a way to teach y'all how to make really nice text, because a lot of people say that I have nice text. So I'm gonna be showing y'all how I make mine. It's really simple, honestly. So boom, just like that. Okay, so now that you've added your text, or if you have any text, I'm just gonna skim through this. I like to add drop shadow. Depending on my gradients, I save all of my gradients, including the ones that are literally the exact same. Everything falls differently, but I like this one because it looks nice. I like to add that little shine to it. Move it over here, and then, like I said, everything has to fit with the photo, man. So y'all see how the light is coming down from kind of like the left side to my character, so that's where I'm putting the angle on my inner shadow. Now I also like to use a second inner shadow, but for the bottom on my text, just to give it that not really 3D look, but kinda, I guess. And then I just like to put a whole bunch of outer glow. Outer glow looks really nice on text, honestly. Don't overdo it, because I do see some people, they use like a crazy amount of outer glow and you can barely even see the text. It's hilarious to me. So don't use too much, but use a proper amount. And I'm just gonna copy layer style and paste it onto this one, and it comes out really nice. I'm not messing with the fact that it overlays, but you know what, it looks kind of natural. So just like that, basically the thumbnail is about 95% done. Make sure to select all your layers just by clicking the bottom layer, hitting shift, clicking the top layer, control G, and then you're gonna want to create a new layer by hitting this little square button. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go over just a couple of things, brush over a couple of things, just to give it that kind of that pop, that glow type of look. So whenever you make your new layer, make sure to click it, and for the, I forgot what it's called, I think it's the blend mode, you're gonna want to change it to linear dodge. And honestly, you can mess around with the opacity. I use 75% most of the time for all of my thumbnails. And what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna use the eyedropper tool. I'm gonna select this color here. I'm gonna make my brush. Make sure y'all's brush is always set to hardness 0. There's really never a time where you need, your brush to be at, like 20 or 30, anything like that. So now what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna go over some areas. It really all depends on what thumbnail you're making. All colors look different, but the way that I made this thumbnail specifically, I went over every single one of these because the skin color is really light, so I just kind of want to give it that glow, that extra chance of being a little bit lighter, instead of just having the entire thing, just be really like not matching to the actual skin tone, because it doesn't really make sense. So we're gonna go over all of this. Make sure to go over every single dark spot, and it'll just give you a really, really nice look. I like it, some people don't, but honestly, this is how I made my thumbnail. So going over every little brown spot. It could literally be the smallest brown spot. I say go over it because I don't know, I'm kind of a perfectionist. I go over things that don't exactly matter, but I think the opacity is a little bit too high, so put it to like 45. Obviously you don't want it to look unnatural either, but this actually looks really nice. I like the way that it looks like this. So now I am going to, let me see. Now I'm gonna go over some other areas. Like I said, I really like how this light curves on the character's chin. I'm zooming in on it because I don't know if y'all can see my cursor or not. But I really like how the light glows here. So basically how it'll kind of create the exact same effect if you just use the eyedropper tool and just click the skin, and then just do this. Kind of creates the exact same thing, just a little bit more exaggerated. So I'm just gonna add this here, and it kind of gives off that same effect. It really just depends on how you do it. So I'm gonna try to make it look as natural as possible. Nothing too crazy. I think it's better if I make another layer and put that opacity higher actually. So linear dodge, put it to like 70, and then just, and then boom, and it kind of gives off that effect. I don't know, I don't remember exactly how I did it last time, but just make it look natural as possible, and you know it'll give off that nice effect. I like to do it a lot, makes everything pop out a lot nicer, and that's basically just about it. You can also add some minor details over here. Copy the white color, or well, choose the white color, and then make the size a little bigger, and add yourself a couple of, you know, these. I'm gonna make the opacity a little bit higher, honestly, and put it to like 60. Let's see how it looks. 55. Yeah, I like it like that. Add another spot right here. Just make the chain pop out more. You can do the same thing for the skin color. Add a few spots here and there. Boom. And then I'm gonna do it for the watch also. Actually, no, the watch, no. And then boom, just like that, you have yourself some really nice glow spots. Kind of just makes a character pop out a lot more. And that's basically just about it for the thumbnail. There's literally only one last thing you can do, which is you're gonna want to have to group everything together. So grab the group that's already been made and your other layers, Control G, and then hit Control E, and it's gonna make the photo into one thing. Make sure to crop it just so you don't have to deal with that. And then go over to the top part of the screen, go to filter, camera raw filter. I don't know if they have this on Photopea or not, but you can kind of throw the exposure up a little bit. Don't really touch anything else. I like to mess with the clarity. Clarity kind of gives it that darker effect, makes the street a little darker if you can't tell already. And then noise reduction, I always put that on 15. I don't think for any thumbnail, I haven't really been putting it anything over or under 15. And just like that, this thumbnail is done and easy. So I hope that some of these things really teach y'all how to make things more vibrant in your thumbnails. Like I said, it's always up to personal preference. You don't have to follow everything that somebody else does or that I do. Honestly, whatever you think is best for your channel, whatever you think is the best for your thumbnails, your work, there's always uniqueness, and that's what everybody should like. It's not about copying another style, it's about what you are and you know how you work. So I'm gonna leave the video here for y'all, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope that this video helped out, and if it did, make sure to subscribe, smash that like button, and support the channel, you feel me? And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.